It's Week 5 of the National Football League, and if it's in the game, it's in the game. It's the Dolphins and the Saints, next on Madden Football.
It is always a celebration here in the city of New Orleans, and we are just outside of the French Quarter at the Superdome. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaunton. And Charles, you look at this Saints team as they interplay. They were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Here is Tua Tagovailoa heading out to lead this Miami offense.
This guy's leadership is so important to how this offense functions. He doesn't shrink from any moments on game day, and everything he does with confidence. He sets the example in practice, off the field, and is the guy leading everyone out for each possession.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they'll go on the ground. And that is not fooling anyone. He never had a chance to turn the corner there, and they'll go backwards right away. Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. Well, hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. The big loss on 1st down leads to a tricky 2nd down. 18 yards to go. Now Tua. They set up the screen. Achane has it. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Looking to pass. Tua. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
That was their first 3rd down try of the game, and clearly something was off in the execution of that play. Good news, they've got a whole game left to clean that up and start clicking on those key 3rd down throws.
On 4th down, Ryan Stonehouse on to punt. Deep for New Orleans is Rashid Shaheed. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. So out comes the offense now with a long field ahead of them. They'll be led out by their rookie quarterback, the young man out of Louisville.
I know teams always talk about having a 24-hour rule after a game, and eventually we end up rolling our eyes. But it works both ways, right? 24 hours if you win, 24 if you lose. But, boy, it's a fun 24 when you win the game. And you win NFC Offensive Player of the Week, isn't it?
Absolutely. Now a first carry for their fullback. Hill shedding the tackle. And some room for him there as he'll take this up to about the 15. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
And there's the pickup you want on 1st down. All offenses say, you get me 4 on 1st down, we'll take it. How about if you get 5? They'll really be happy.
Second and 5. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. That one complete to Hill. And tackled down after a gain of 3. Leaves him with 1 yard to go on 3rd down. This defense for the Dolphins. Very strong last week in the win over Carolina.
Yeah, they only allowed 13 points, and you can poll all 32 coaches, and I guarantee you they'd say, we'll take that every single week. But let me think about that for a second. Maybe there'd be one contrarian that would say, give me 10.
Here's Kamara, try to run for it. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Strong start by this defense. 3rd and short, they go with a run. Stonewalled for no gain.
I played for a guy who always talked about setting tones and meeting force with force. That felt like it on that play, didn't it? And they met it in a big way and won. What a great job by the defense.
Fair catch called for and taken right near the 30-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt, and it'll be Dolphin football. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Hill going to go in motion right. On the ground, this is Devon Achane. Room here to run. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 right at the 40. Tua going to give this to Wright. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. What the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Here's Tua. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Jonnu Smith, the tight end, is intended receiver. But now it's 3rd down. And you look at this Saints defense. They were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
Have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw. They ended up getting 4 sacks in the game, stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire time, made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield.
And that's what they told us this week, that pressure on the QB is key. Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. To the sideline and incomplete.
Yeah, it's still early in the game. No sense taking a chance on 3rd down and forcing one into traffic. So I like the wise play he made there. Get it to the sideline out of bounds where no one's going to have a chance at it.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. 33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. New Orleans Saints, they get ready to set up shop for their 2nd drive. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of 1st downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 1st downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. And that nearly intercepted. Well, the free safety roaming into position almost had it, but it's 2nd down.
Oh, man, that was close. To change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that fell harmlessly to the ground. Now it's 2nd and 10. Looking to throw. He's going to air one out. And got his man complete. right sideline. Touchdown, New Orleans. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Saints get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, they were back in the shadows of their own goalpost, and that flipped quickly.
So much for playing it safe. I mean, the conservative, easy call, run the football. Create some space, pump the ball away, but no, let's throw it. And sometimes a defense's aggressiveness is used against them, because when you've got people backed up, your natural inclination is to try and really force them back, and sometimes they get burned that way.
And they got burned there. The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. The Dolphins ready to take over on offense. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. You see the numbers on the ground a week ago for H.N. 16 carries, 57 yards.
How about we shine a little spotlight on the offensive line? Those big guys up front are creating nice space, nice gaps for them to run through. I think he's going to go for over 100 yards in this game.
Right back to H.N. on second down. 41 yards rushing for him now on just his first 3 carries.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
In motion, Hill. They'll run on first down with Wright. And a strong run that time as he's across midfield and down to the 43. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Now H.N. on first and 10. Down inside the 40. Now you look at the Saints defense. This unit against the pass, hoping to get better for sure. Number 25 in the NFL right now.
They're in the bottom 10 in the league. I mean, when you look at their talent, you would think that they'd be much better. overall, I don't think there's any question you'd have to say that they've underachieved.
From the 39-yard line, here comes second down at 6. Achane on the counter. Shifts by him. And good running, going to get this down close to a first at the Saints 34.
It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Going to the air. Tagovailoa. Wright's got it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They're able to convert with a gain of 4. Got to say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on third and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
On play action, here's Tua. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Ryan Brzee fought in and got him down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
So now after the sack, Tua and the Dolphins staring at a 3rd and long. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Throw caught by Achane. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing a couple yards here on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down.
And we constantly talk about people being on the same page. In this situation, the two of them saw the play with the same eyes. They understood where the open spaces were going to be, and they found a way to get there to pick up a new set of downs.
And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. The New Orleans offense set to take over. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. They start the drive on the ground. Kamara. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 13 carries, 64 yards.
Not a horrendous week last week running the ball, but definitely room for improvement for their numbers. No doubt they made some slight adjustments to how they're going to call plays this week in hopes they can kick those numbers up a notch.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again. Only a couple there as he'll be brought down about the 28.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Third and 2. And that nearly intercepted. Boy, for a guy known for his hands defensively, that's a ball he probably thinks he should have come up with. But instead, it's 4th down. Was that the incorrect read or just more an error on the throw by the quarterback?
Just missed him on the throw.
And a tough one to miss because now you're dealing with a 4th down. Here comes the Saints punter now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. The Dolphins offense now ready to go back out onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And Tua going to slide to a halt, but he will have the first down. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
This early in the game, it's all about making steady progress downfield, hoping to lead to early points. And you can do it with your actual play calls or sometimes something a little more improvised, as we just saw there.
Up the middle, Achane. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, second down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. Escaping the pressure right. Good work on the scamper by Tagovailoa. It's a first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll for him moving forward.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they've got it with a 1st and 10. In motion goes the tight end. Now they'll throw with Tagovailoa. That's caught. Nick Westbrook-Akine with it. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and tried to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
In motion is Westbrook-Akine. Play action, now it's Tua. And he's taken down here by the Saints. That was Justin Reed, the safety, who got to the quarterback. And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him.
And they're going deep for Hill. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Tyreek Hill, his first touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from evening this one up. And there, Charles, he lined up out left, ran the post, caught it over the middle, and the rest, as they say, is history.
And you have to love the scheme that they just showed there, because if you're going to run a deep post, you ordinarily have to get a safety out of the middle of the field. And you do it one of 2 ways, either by running routes at him that carries him away from it, or you either freeze him in the middle with routes that run underneath so that he doesn't get depth. Then you throw it over the top, and boy, what a successful play that was.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. And now the Saints get set to trot out there. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 38. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. Second down.
Well, you don't turn your nose up at a gain of 4, do you? They'll take that on first down. Playbook's got to be pretty well open on 2nd and 6.
Second down at 6 now from the 42. They run it again with Kamara. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7. Is that one officially a loss of 1?
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. They'll set up to throw. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, certainly they'd rather have the scenario they had last time out, Charles. Remember, they had the short field. They took it in the end zone. Now this is going to have to be a longer, more sustained drive if they want to get points.
Yeah, a little bit more of a quick strike opportunity last time by where they were on the field, and you're exactly right about that. But now, backed up a little bit. What's that old expression we love to use? Time to matriculate the ball down the field and try and do it again.
It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
A lot of bad news on that play for them, wasn't there? Lost the football, lost a lot of yardage, but I think the good news outweighs it. Able to retain possession. That was big for them.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Tua sets up to pass it. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And able to get it here to about the 16-yard line. That one good for only 6, and it leaves him with a 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the 1st down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, got the safe completion on 3rd. And taken right at the 35. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. The last series for them, a little disappointing, forced to punt. And now they'll try to do better here and come away with some points as they begin this drive, 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphins shaking up on the play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Here's 2nd and 10. Here's the occasional ball carrier. It's Taysom Hill. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
The Saints on third down, 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 8.
Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Those are the ones you dream of as defenders. I think if he gets eyes on the ball a little... he might come away with it. Instead, it's going to wind up as just an incomplete pass.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away.
Fair catch called for and collected right at the 10-yard line. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
So, Charles, no turnovers yet for this offense, but those sacks now, they're starting to pile up.
And one thing usually leads to another, because they've got to figure out how the offensive line and everyone else involved in protection can keep their quarterback upright and allow him a chance to throw the ball downfield.
Back near his goal line, here's Tua. And that's complete to Westbrook-Ikine.
And he gets it up to the 10-yard line here. And that's good for a gain of 6. And they'll be facing a 3rd and 12.
We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down.
Tua going to throw.
Open man, Westbrook-Ikine. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the first.
The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield.
And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away.
A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Now, if you're a fan of punting, and I know that not many people are, but this game kind of turning into one for you.
Well, it's okay if it's a skills contest, right? We're really into it then, but not during the course of an actual game. This has turned into a field position game, though. Sometimes the better punter may actually determine the outcome.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
He's had his eyes on 7,000 career rushing yards, and with that last effort, he has hit that mark. What a career.
And that is the number to focus in on, because oftentimes we talk about where do they rank all time. We're not there yet. He's not knocking on the top 10 or the top 20, but over 7,000 yards in a career, fantastic.
Here's a play fake as they set up to throw.
A quick throw there, going to be batted away and incomplete.
And that's a nice job there, because you've got to play the ball, not the man when in coverage. That'll keep you away from a lot of needless penalties, and he's able to knock that one away.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass.
They'll set up a throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he gets us to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Olave with his first grab, and he also has a first down.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yes.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Kamara up the middle. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
The Saints had 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. They were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset, being in the right frame of mind. And the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. And I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
Again, it's Kamara. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down.
Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
He'll look to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
I haven't met a quarterback yet that didn't enter the league with a massive chip on his shoulder if he wasn't a first-round pick. They want to show the league that they made a big mistake. Determined to get the first down there, no hesitation at all to tuck it and go. I bet he would have tried running through their entire defense if it meant reaching that marker.
They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is really flown around in the first half. They've gotten to the ball carrier before they can really get started. Offense got to come up with something else in order to try and get this running game going.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Out of the gun now on 3rd down. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
An 8-yard loss brings up 4th down.
Here's Blake Groupie now for the Saints field goal.
From the left hash, it's an even 50-yard attempt. And this one will not get there. It's off to the left anyway. It's no good, and this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. My theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
Now Tua. They'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
From the gun, it's Tua. Buying time to his left. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
They asked him to take charge and get them to a spot where they could at least attempt to kick before the half, and he does just that. Didn't trust what he saw downfield, so he took it upon himself to get them into field goal range using his legs. That's coming through with a play they needed in a big spot.
Keeps himself upright. Flush to his right. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's 3rd down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Two yards still to go. 3rd down now. Tagovailoa working out of the gun. Shakes off the sack. Flushed out right. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
They made a nice effort to stick him with a loss for that play, but it's going to take more than that to keep him from advancing the ball. Should be an entertaining battle anytime he tucks and runs over the second half of this contest.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Here's Tua. And that is incomplete. 16 seconds now on the clock.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on 1st down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
Looking to pass. Tua. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. Sanders' kick is good, and that will do it for this first half. So we've hit halftime, just a field goal separating these two teams at the break. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has
two in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll start up at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. And that one finds the Falcons out in front. Bijan Robinson, 3 touchdown runs. From there, we head down south to Tampa to check on the Bucs at home at Raymond James Stadium. And they've got the lead in their ball game over the visiting Carolina Panthers. Bucky Irving with a touchdown run. Lastly, let's get up to Buffalo to check on the Bills. And they trail the visiting Ravens in that one at halftime. Lamar Jackson has a touchdown pass. This one's been as good as advertised. Just a field goal separating these two teams. This was a very level first half, and I'd expect to see more of the same after the break. Both teams going through their final halftime adjustments. We're about ready to get back to football. And to bring you the second half from the Superdome, let's go back to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach. Yeah, adjustment. Going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far.
A good, tight football game thus far. 10-7 the score as we resume action on EA Sports. Oh, a good return up past the 30.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter.
And Charles, some things to like about that first half. Ultimately trailing here, but certainly this deficit is manageable. So curious to see what adjustments they may have made at intermission.
As am I, because I think things bode well for a possible comeback, because I thought a lot of their best reps in the first half came through the passing game. They were hitting the open receivers, taking whatever the coverage gave them and making it work well for themselves. Now, they just want to pick up the pace of scoring a little bit. So I expect them to come out and continue to throw the ball effectively.
And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down.
Man coverage on the left side, so I really like the design of this play because they opened up the field and brought their tight end the other way on a crossing route. That's a lot of ground to cover if you're a defender. I've been there before, unable to stay with his man there.
A 10th carry for Kamara. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. It's another first down on what will be a gain of 21 yards.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say maybe that gives him a little juice because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
They go play action here on first down.
And that, nearly picked off. But would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's second down.
They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out.
53 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success. Try to pound it in, Kamara. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
Holding offense.
The offense knew it. They were already starting to walk back as that one is accepted.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on first and goal. Here's Neal. Pushes him aside at the 10. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A good pickup there, 7 yards, and it's going to be second and goal now. So there the defense denies the rookie of his potential first career touchdown.
And his first NFL touchdown celebration. I wonder if he's thought about it, if he has something cooked up in his head as he worked on with his team, and think about the celebration back home when he finally scores his first touchdown.
You don't get a second chance to make a first impression. We'll see what he does.
Well said, sir. Well said.
Here's 2nd and 8. Eluding the pressure right.
That is caught by Olave. Touchdown, New Orleans.
8 yards on the touchdown pass. And the Saints have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half. So he scrambled right but was able to look back toward the middle of the end zone to find the target.
As you know, in this game, sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules because we all know most guys throwing the football are taught never throw back into the middle of the field on a scramble. He did it and got away with it for a touchdown.
Instinct sometimes, right? They just take over.
Instinct and vision. Sometimes you just see people who are open, you're able to get it to them.
The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away.
And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25.
So here are the Dolphins now. They get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, one-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth, almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side, trying to match each other. Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. And that's off the mark, incomplete.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. He'll drop to throw. That is caught, and he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first.
And that's the kind of play this offense needs to maybe kick them into gear a little bit. They've been stuck in neutral much of the game. Perhaps that can give them a little bit of confidence that big plays are out there.
They'll give this to Wright, running right.
He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Yeah, so they get that one, Charles, on the right tackle.
Yeah, oftentimes in that spot, you're trying to work against a defender, trying to set the edge in the running game, and you're trying to drive around and get your body twisted so that he can't get there. Sometimes your hands get too involved.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa.
That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively. It's 2nd down.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And this is going to be incomplete.
Well, partner, guaranteed they approach this play with the idea of making up ground to make 3rd down manageable. Unfortunately, with that incompletion, right back where they started on the last snap. Now they need a big 3rd down play in order to pick up the yardage needed.
Hill going to go in motion right.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That one complete to Hill. So the completion good for 6 yards, and it'll be 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there, and they rallied and made the tackle.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away.
Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. Well, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a beat on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They're going to look to throw. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll set up to throw.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall, that they could put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
Here comes the Saints punter now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. The Dolphins offense now working their way back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag, punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking him.
Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Washington. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Tua sets up to pass it.
He's got his running back out of the backfield.
And he'll cross over out of bounds right at the 25. 30 yards there, and of course the first down as well.
That is the exact right play call against that defense. So a hat tip to the offensive play caller because he won that part of the chess match. But give credit to his players as well. They won the execution part of it.
A give up the middle to right.
And he stopped immediately there. Demario Davis there on the stop.
When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. 18 yards that time to push him up, 1st and goal.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
They'll drop to throw.
Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here.
A run straight ahead with Achane.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
He had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
Let's give this defense some credit now. They let the guys get downfield, but when push came to shove, they stood their ground. Now they'll likely force a field goal attempt.
So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit.
From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Sanders is good.
So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as and kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
After the field goal, here comes Sanders to kick it away. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30, right about the 29.
So here are the Saints to take over. They were winners last week over Tennessee, and they've got the lead here as well. They start this drive out 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Up past the 30, 2nd down coming up.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 8.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. They'll roll him out right.
Finds his man. That's Olave on the crossing route.
And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45.
He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down.
And that's right there, and I'll tell you what I've seen in recent times and actually watched a presentation in the offseason from a college offensive coordinator that showed about 10 different drills that he runs with his quarterbacks to show them how to get out of the pocket, how to get comfortable when they're doing so, and to make plays under that type of duress. That's an example of what we're seeing in the colleges delivered to the NFL.
This is Neal.
And a solid run here as he'll pick his way down to the 42-yard line.
12 more yards there and another 1st down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 42-yard line. Again, it's Neal as they stay on the ground. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
And we're at the 41, 2nd and 9.
They'll look to throw. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Kind of a fine line when you're setting up the screen. You don't want to throw it too early and have the defense react too quickly. And you definitely don't want to throw it too late. And that way it's not formed perfectly. Got to make sure you hit it just right.
If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. He'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he... there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback.
Miami set to take over.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take...
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. A great effort there.
His 2nd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins have moved out in front here in the final minute of the 3rd quarter.
One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive. Recap.
Is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
They're going to keep it on the ground. And he will find the end zone here, and the lead moves up to 7. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. Oh, a good-looking return set up here.
And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Saints offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They'll look for a drive to tie this up, down 21-14 as they have it 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. It's hauled in by Brandon Cooks. And he'll be taken down across the 50 at the 45 in enemy territory.
Now a timeout as they tend to the injured player, and not the man they would want to see. That's Chris Olave getting medical attention. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's the Saints who hold the football, but they're trailing as we begin the fourth quarter of play. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it.
There's a short one to the tight end, Johnson.
And he's got this down to the 35.
10 yards, good for his Saints first down.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the fourth. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's first and 10. Coming left is Kamara. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front, because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
This is Neal. Shelling through the defense, and he'll get this down close to a first down at about the Dolphins' 26. Good work to pick up 7 yards there. Into a 3rd and 1 situation.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The offense on 3rd down, not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1.
18 Cardinal.
They'll try to run for it with Miller. Boy, no chance as he was met and dropped behind the line there.
Now a timeout here, at least for the moment. Looks like one of the Saints is injured, shaken up on that last play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside.
1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. So the field goal unit is on the field, as this is a big spot right here. This from 44 yards away. And this one is right through. And that'll bring them back within 4. So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the end.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
The ball upright on the tee, and the Saints kick team booms it away. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Dolphins about set to go to work on offense.
Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
The drive starts with a run from Achane.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Good push from the offensive line, and they've done well so far to build this lead. Now they've got to get things to the finish line, and that's a solid pickup there to begin the drive.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Hill going to go in motion right.
They give it off here to the tight end. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now Achane on 1st and 10.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line.
So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
Tua going to throw.
And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
Okay, let's decide here. He was open, right? Not extraordinarily open, but open enough that if you're an NFL quarterback,
yeah,
you got to make that throw, right?
Yeah.
That's got to be completed.
9 times out of 10, that's a completed pass.
Yeah, he missed that one and missed it in a big way.
Up the middle, Achane.
They get 2 yards back, but they're going to need a lot more than that here on 3rd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Back to throw here. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Back to throw.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
Critical play in this football game, because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
Fielded at about the 28. We'll call that a 47-yard punt, a return of just 3.
And they will take over 1st and 10. The New Orleans offense back out and ready to go. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. On play action, they'll throw.
And that, nearly picked off. Well, it would have been a great time for their first interception of the game. Instead, it's second down.
Oh, this defense knows. Fourth quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Second and 10.
They'll look to throw here. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. The Saints on third down, just a 20% success rate at 2 of 10. This is 3rd and 10. They'll set up a throw.
That'll be taken in by Shaheed. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line.
It's the gain of 14 yards. That's good for us Saints. First and 10 at the 45-yard line.
Now a first down carry. It's Kamara.
And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
I know we can't hear what's going on in that huddle right now, but I'll guarantee you at least one offensive lineman is saying, my bad, we simply couldn't move them off the line of scrimmage. We've got to do a better job trying to root those guys out of there.
From the 46, here's second down and 8.
Looking to throw.
They'll get this out to Kamara.
So nothing doing there. And 3rd and 8 now.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw him break out on 3rd? Defense blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback.
Dolphins offense returning to the field. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10.
At the 20.
Hand off to Achane to begin the drive.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. And going deep for Hill. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
That's some good closing speed there defensively, because that looked open for a minute. But that's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man. and broke the play up.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Tua, they set up the screen. Achane has it. A nice move gets him a few extra. Down just shy of his 20. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
And they've used him in the passing game to great effect so far. And here they get it to him again on the screen, and it turns into a nice positive play.
Going to the air. Tagovailoa. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Saints coming out now to take the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest. That certainly appeared to be a play call where they were just trying to make 2nd down, 2nd and short. I think they thought the coverage was off a little bit more than it was. Nice job there pressing up on it and forcing the incompletion.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Now back to throw. They'll set up the screen now to Kamara. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
With all the success they've had throwing the football as a pass rusher, you know you've got to come hard when you see him drop back to throw. So I really like this call to counteract that pass rush with a screen. It turns into positive yardage. A lot of times the offense says, just replace the rusher with the ball, and it turns into a good play.
Neal. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the 1st. That's good for 9 yards as they convert on the 3rd down play.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
Here we go.
And the tight end goes in motion left. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Johnson. And he's going to get this inside the 30. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit. So following the hold, they're in a bit of a hole here with a 1st and 20. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He completes it to Olave.
Complete to number 12, Chris Olave. A gain of 20 brings up 2nd down at the 18-yard line.
Now 2nd down and a few inches. Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a one-score game.
So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They come up on a second down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. They'll pound it up the middle with Kamara. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9.
Well, they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
First and goal at the 9-yard line.
Here's first and goal.
Let's go now. Check, Bobcat. Go.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's second and goal. Back to throw.
A quick throw. Away and incomplete.
This defense making some plays right now, aren't they?
And they look like a group that really locked in before this series started. Read their scouting reports, got back to reading their keys, and playing with excellent leverage up front.
This is third and goal.
Ready.
He's back to throw. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. With his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year.
And the Saints have moved out in front here in the fourth quarter. Charles, what a big drive late in the fourth quarter to take this lead.
And normally you're really excited if your offense has the ball late in the game. But I think this crew is really excited to have their defense go back out there because they haven't surrendered a point in the fourth quarter yet. They've helped make this comeback possible with their defensive play. Now they get a chance to finish this game off.
And it's no good. Well, that could be a critical miss here in a one-score game in the fourth. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So Tua and the Dolphins
down by 2, a little over a minute to go. And they need about 35 yards to get in range for a winner as they come up on first down.
Here's Tua. This one thrown underneath to Achane. 2nd and 6 coming up. Throwing Tua. And that's complete to Westbrook-Akine.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the game.
2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Tua.
Now a desperation throw deep downfield. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Ooh, that's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit. Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
Now Tua.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds remaining.
This crowd turning up the decibel level. It's 3rd and long. Tua to throw.
Steps away to his left.
Here we go. This is 4th down.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that'll be just about all she wrote for this one. The Saints in victory formation now as they'll take the knee.
So no shortage of offense in this game, but a very clean game too, Charles. Each side got its points, but they did so without committing a single turnover.
That's so true, and it certainly felt like NFL football at its finest, right? You talk about the highest level from both of these offenses. Neither one of them afraid of taking risks, and both of them aggressively pushing it downfield. I did like, Brandon, how smart they were about going about their business, though. They were high-flying, but they took care of the ball.
Yeah, they did, and just keeping it clean in a game like this with all these points, you don't see that very often, even at the highest level. Job well done by both sides.
So for the Saints, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.